Why aren't you watching Wade's Word of the Day? 8 p.m. every night, Monday through Friday. Yeah, come on, get a word. You'll be blessed by it. Make sure that you tag Ted and text somebody. Tell them to come on into the room. I'm your host, Pastor R.D. Wade. That's what they call me, y'all.
Yeah, here we go. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Somebody say hello, feel this tone. You know how we do it in this space. We try to get our healing. Hey, it's Wade's Word of the Day. 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 Wade's Word of the Day.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on? It's Wade's Word of the Day. Wade's Word of the Day. Come on in the room tonight. Everybody come on in the room. Let's talk. Let's talk. Come on in the room. Make sure you text, tag, and tell somebody. Yeah, tell them to come on into the space tonight. We see you, Audrey Barnes-Lee. We see you, Nana. Thank you for coming into the space tonight. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Come on, everybody. Come on into the space tonight. Man, I'm excited to be hanging out with you all. What's tonight? I think tonight is Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday night. Ooh, bless you. Judy, what's going on? Brother Ray, what's happening? Thank you all for coming into the space tonight. Come on, text, tag, and tell somebody if you don't mind. Lori, what's going on? Lori Chappelle Thomas is in the space tonight. Lori Thomas Chappelle, one of those ways. Thank you all for coming in. Come on, take your finger right now. Y'all got y'all swag. Y'all know how to do it. I don't need to tell you any longer. You know, reach out, touch somebody. Tell them to come on into the space tonight. Make sure that you are liking the post and so forth and so on. Let me take care of some housekeeping. So listen, if you want to learn how to do what I'm doing, if you will, one, I can help you. But two, if you want to learn how I'm doing, hey, why don't you get tied in with Be Live? Hey, I put a description. It's in the description right there on how you can get connected. If you want to stream, talk about your business, talk about those things that are important to you, yeah, get connected to Be Live. Right there in the description, you can find out the information. If you use my code, Pastor RD Wade, get you 30% off if you decide to take up a subscription. But the service is free. If you want some of the added stuff, hey, you can sign up for a subscription. Use my code, Pastor RD Wade. It'll get you 30% off. Yeah. So if you want to get connected, hey, reach out and holler at a boy. Holler at your boy. I'll help you get started. All of that good stuff. Duchess Scott, what's going on? What's going on? Good to see everybody on tonight. Thank you all for coming into the space. Thank you for coming into the space. And y'all know when we come into the space, we don't tear down. We lift up. We encourage. We speak to those things that speak to us. All of those things mentally, physically, spiritually. Yeah, that's what we do. We talk about it all in this space. And I'm so excited to be hanging out with you all. It is 5/11/2021. This is Wade's Word of the Day. I'm your host, Pastor Wade. Yeah, that's what they call me. And so we're excited to be with you. Leon and Winstead, we see you tonight. We see you tonight. Yeah, right about now, we take our finger and we simply, y'all know what to do. I don't need to tell you, but just in case you forgot, we simply take our finger and we say, hello. Yeah, that's what we do. We type in that word, hello, because when we say hello, we simply are saying we're showing up, we're arriving, we're going to participate in our destiny. Yeah, we're going to participate in our destiny. And so that's why we show up in this space. When we talk about participating, that simply means we're not going to let our negative thoughts get the best of us. Paul said something about casting down every thought and imagination that would try to exalt itself. Yeah, that's what we do in this space. No, we're not going to let our negative thoughts get the best of us. So we try to rock in positivity, not negativity. Number two, we show up. And when we show up, we tell our haters, see, you couldn't block us and you couldn't stop us from walking in the purpose and the plan that God would have for our live. So we tell our haters to put it where? Way back there. And then finally we tell our fears, nope, we're not operating in fear. We're operating in faith. So can I get everybody tonight? Yeah, hello. Y'all know how we do it tonight. Hey, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. So hey, I want to send you some good energy. So let's go ahead. Y'all know how we do it. Come on. Yeah. Yeah, I want to send you some good energy. So just let's do it together. Everybody breathe in, breathe out. Yeah. Then squeeze. Yeah. That good energy. Pearl, what's going on tonight? Good to see you. Nina Holmes, what's happening? Kadila Bowling, what's going on? Come on, everybody with me. Yeah. Yeah, you do this every night. Yeah. Do it for about 22 days every night. 10 times, 20 seconds each. Just breathe it all the way out. Then squeeze. Yeah, do that. See, I'm blessing you right now. But hey, let me sing you some of this good energy. Here we go.
So I'm sending good energy to all my friends and enemies. Can't expect something different if you acting the same. If it don't make sense, it'll never bring change. Sending good energy to all my friends and enemies. Can't expect something different if you acting the same. If it don't make sense, it'll never bring change. I be trying to teach him, I be trying to reach him. I've been preaching like Reverend Run DMC, Adidas sneakers. People really need to take another peek deep inside. They fighting demons so they weaken, all they need is the lie. This is why we look ahead, never behind, never slip and slide. Focus on the climb, hocus pocus time. Happiness is magical, actual joy. It'll make you clap your hands and make actual noise like kindness. Let it flow through you, your skin start shining. You'd be so happy, can't even hide it. Every day would leave you delighted. It's cause of fear the people keep fighting. So I'm sending good energy to
We are sending good energy. We're sending good energy. So check it out. Tonight I want to talk about habits. I want to talk about habits. I love to read, and I decided to go. I was reading earlier today after my workout, and I picked up a book entitled Million Dollar Habits. Hadn't read it in a long time, but as I began to peruse the book, take the book in, I was like, man, I want to share some of these insights with the folk because it blessed me. So I just wanted to bless you with it. See, I don't try to be unique to everything. Sometimes you can glean and learn from other sources, and so I want to talk about that tonight because that's kind of what we've been talking about over the last few weeks. Habits. Doing different things. We talked about trying. Remember, we defined that last night. We talked about power. We defined that, what that means within our context. But I want to talk about, habits. Habits. One of the things that just stuck out to me as I was reading it, it was just simply a quote. It said, "We first make our habits, then our habits make us." We first make our habits, then our habits make us. Whether we're talking about good, bad, or indifferent, uh, we first make our habits, and then our habits make us. So, how do we start to develop habits? Yeah. I hate to use the word good or bad, but for the sake of this conversation, good habits, right? How do we start? I'm gonna give you 7 things that I gleaned from the book. Number 1, make a decision. I don't know about you, but in this space, we're always talking about you have to decide, not somebody else, not what the crowd is saying, not what others are saying. You can take all of this advice and all of this instruction from all types of spaces, but you decide, until you decide on the course of action for your life. If it's from the standpoint, I want to grow in the things of God, the first thing you have to do is make a decision around that. If it's, I want to lose weight, you have to make a decision to do that. If it's, I want to have more meaningful relationships, I don't just want to operate in transactional relationships, but I want to develop new relationships, you have to make a decision around that. And you have to be clear. You have to decide clearly, this is what I'm trying to do in this season, if you will, of my life. You have to decide. If you want to do better, you got to decide to do better. If you want to change the direction, the trajectory, if you will, of your life, you have to decide to do that. You have to make a decision around it. So you say, hey, I'm going to get in shape. You got to make a decision. You have to wrap your mind around that. You have to decide to do it. Yeah. See, nothing will ever change until you make a decision on it. You know, it's easy to complain. It's easy to be frustrated. It's easy to blame others. But the only person who can change your life is you. Yeah. The only person who can change your life is you. And even as it relates to us talking about we want to get closer with he who knows all things, he who sees all things, and he who does all things well. Yeah, Jesus. You make a decision around that. Yeah, he stands there at the door and knock, but you have to open it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You have to open it. You can't be peeking out the window. You can't be, you have to open the door and you have to allow him to come in. You have to decide for yourself. But too often we spend all of our energy, we spend all of our effort hoping that somebody else will make a decision for our life that only you can make. And then if that decision goes left or go right, then we begin to blame them. In whatever capacity that is, whatever circumstance that is. I mean, you would be amazed how I'm approached quite often by people who have made a decision based on what somebody else said. They didn't make it based on what they said. And then when it went left, you want to blame them. But at the end of the day, you made that decision. So you have to decide for yourself. Where do I see my life in 5 years? Where do I see my life in 2 weeks? Where do I see my life in a month? Because this is what they say. If you can consistently do that thing for 30 days, it really becomes a habit. So if you say, hey, I'm going to get up at 5:30 a.m. before whatever it is that I'm doing, and I'm going to study. I'm going to study the good book. If you can do it for 30 days, you have created a habit. Yes, you have. You have created a habit. I made up in my mind. I said, I'm going to get up at 5, somewhere between 5 and 5:30 every morning. It's now turned into 4:30, but I'm going to get up at somewhere between 4:30 and 5:30. I was going to exercise. I was going to center myself, work out, get me a walk in, before I did anything. That's what I said I was going to do. I was going to wake up. I was going to center myself. When I talk about center myself, make sure I'm connected with, the Lord. I was going to work out, and then I was going to walk. Made a decision to do that, and every morning, that's what I do. That's what I do. 4:30, I'm up. I'm centering myself. Yeah, I'm thinking about him. I'm thinking about my life. I'm thinking about what's going on with me. I work out, and then when I'm through working out, I go walk. And I walk in the morning to burn off the night stuff, that I had last night. And then in the evening, I walk. Spend about 30 minutes walking right there in the front of where I live. Sister Verlin and Sister Shug, they rode up on me the other night. I think it was Saturday night. I think it was Saturday night. Sister Shug, Sister Verlin, and her daughter and Gwendolyn, they rode up on the house, and they didn't recognize her brother because the brother had got a little slim. They was like, "You out here looking like a young man." They rolled up. They came to visit my wife to drop off something. Now I could have been distracted. Here's your number two. Here's your number two. They rolled up on me. I was in the midst of walking. Here's your number two. Make a decision, but in number two, never allow an exception. In other words, if you make this decision that this is what I'm going to do, this is going to be my set time, especially when you're first getting started, never make an exception. If in fact the habit starts after 30 days, you can't on the 15th day decide you're going to do something different. So they rolled up on the house. I'm out walking because it is my evening walk. Now I could have been like, "Oh, they over here and everything," and I could have broke my routine or whatever. I was like, "No, Lady Shakira on in there," and I kept on walking. Listen to me. Early on, don't make an exception. If you are saying, "I'm going to study at whatever time you set," don't allow an exception. At that time, center yourself, whether you're using your smartphone, whether you're using a paperback, whatever it is, center yourself and in that moment and do it. Yeah, do it. Don't allow a break in your routine, especially if you are getting started. Why is that important? Because if you start to break your routine early on, you'll never get to the place of where you are developing a habit. And once you develop these good habits, it becomes easy. See, at first, it feels hard getting up, man, at whatever time you're trying to get up, 4:30, 5:30. Man, at first, it's just like, "Yo, I don't want to do this." But after a while, if you stay consistent in it, it becomes easy. It becomes easy. So if you set aside a time to study and you be committed to that moment, to that space, not only does it become easy, but you'll begin to recognize and realize, man, he'll begin to meet you in those moments. You'll begin to sit down and read, and he'll begin to give you understanding. Yeah, as James said, if anyone lack wisdom, let him ask of God, and he will give it to you. Yeah, but you have to be committed to the time that you have set aside. So never allow an exception in whatever context, whatever thing it is that you are trying to do. Number three, this is important. Now, some people would say, if you're starting something or you're doing something, keep it to yourself. You know, the worst thing that you're doing, blocking your vision, is going out there sharing it. I beg the differ. You need to have some folk in your corner that you can share with them. This is what I'm doing. Yeah, you need to, you if you're going to develop that habit, who's ever in your household, whoever is your circle, you need, yeah, to share with them, this is what I'm doing. One, they can help you become accountable to that. But as you begin to share your vision, now listen, I don't believe in sharing your vision to everybody from the beginning, because there's certain people in your space who don't want to see you accomplish what it is that you set out to do. But you certainly need to have some folk in your corner who you can say, listen, this is what I'm doing. I got to be honest. When I told Lady Shakira, hey, I'm gonna lose this belly. I'm gonna lose this belly. I'm gonna lose this belly. And the sad thing is, the belly is the hardest thing to lose. You know, you lose around the face first, you lose it on the arms, yeah, lose it on the legs, and that belly be still sitting there looking at you like, we ain't going nowhere. So when I first told her, she didn't think I was serious, and so she was still kind of like, let's, eat some. And then I had to look at her. I said, babe, I'm committed to doing this. And you know how I am when I'm committed to doing something, I get real serious around it. Yeah, so you have to tell the people who are important to you, hey, this is what I'm trying to accomplish, so that they can help you along the way. You follow what I'm saying? Because it's amazing how much more disciplined you can be and determined uh, when you know that other people are watching. That's all I'm saying. Because listen, there are some people who are going to look at you when you say, hey, I'm going to do this. And they're going to say, he'll never do it, or she'll never do it. That adds motivation. Most of the things that I have accomplished, whether you're talking about ministry and all of these things, there was somebody who said to me, you can't do it. So you'll be amazed when you know that some folk are watching you. That leads to motivation for you to accomplish your goal. Is anybody picking up what I'm putting down tonight? Anybody? Yeah, understanding that. So here it is. If I'm making a commitment, hey, I'm going to go in the Bible, and I don't believe in speed reading, but I'm going to go in the Bible and I'm just going to read a verse or two a night, and I'm going to try to glean everything in context from those couple verses. I'm going to memorize those verses. By me telling somebody, I can say, hey, I put these verses on this card. I've been memorizing them. Can you work with me tonight? I'm going to try to quote them back. You can tell me if I got them right or if I got them wrong. And then that just simply becomes a habit. And then once it becomes a habit, you no longer need those cards, because now it is written in your heart. It's written in your heart. So at any moment somebody come up to you, you can quote that which you have learned. You no longer need the card or the handwritten, or if you will, your smart device. You don't say, oh, let me look that up. You'll know that one. So everybody picking up what I'm putting down. Number 4, you got to visualize it. You got to see yourself accomplishing the things that you set out to do. Yeah. The old preacher used to say, I see it in my mind's eye. Yeah, you have to visualize and see yourself accomplishing your goal, whether it's day by day, whether it's week by week, whether it's month by month. And in some cases, it's minute by minute, but you have to see yourself where you want to be. And there's something about visualizing where you want to be. It makes the journey so much more rewarding, but it also tends to lead, it tends to be a roadmap to where you're trying to go when you can visualize it, right? I see this looking like this or me accomplishing this. And I see myself walking across the stage at the latter age in my life because I decided to go back to school. I see myself graduating. I see myself getting that promotion. I see myself making uh, this amount of money. I see myself going to the bank and depositing that check. You have to visualize it. You have to see yourself accomplishing the things that you have set out to do. So yeah, so I'm getting back in shape. So I see myself getting lean. I see it. I ain't there yet, but I see myself getting lean. When we were building a facility and everything, I saw what it would look like. And so then as we began to develop and put it together, I could point to other people and say, man, I think this would look good here. This would look good here. This would look good here. This would look good there. And now when people walk in that space, they'll be like, oh man, this is a beautiful space. But you had to visualize it and see it. You know, they used to say something like this: you got to have it before you have it, right? You got to have it before you have it. That's what faith is. Faith becomes the thing while you're waiting on the thing to show up. That's just another way to think about visualizing. Faith becomes the thing while you're waiting on the thing to show up. Faith acts like a thing is so, even when it is not so, that it might be so. That sounded real good. I'm going to say it again. Faith acts like a thing is so, even when it is not so, that it might be so. So you got to visualize it. You got to see it in your mind's eye before it ever comes to pass. Is this helping y'all tonight? It blessed me, so I wanted to share. Is this helping y'all tonight? Number 5, you got to create some affirmations around it. In other words, you have to start encouraging yourself. Yeah, you gotta create some affirmations around it. You know what I used to do is I used to find quotes and everything, and I would write them on little sticky tabs, and then I would just stick them in places. And then I would look at that quote or whatever, and it would encourage me to keep on going. Sometimes it would be scripture. Sometimes it would be a quote that I heard somebody else say. And it would just encourage me to keep on going. You have to encourage yourself. You have to create your own affirmations. Why is this critically important? Because as you set out to do what you set out to do, there's going to be moments of struggle. There's going to be moments. I hear you, Leonard Winstead. Affirm yourself. I may have to have you come on talk to me. Let's talk about that too, as well in this space. But yeah, you have to create affirmations for yourself, because we live in a world where a lot of people will try to get you to question yourself and question what it is that you're trying to accomplish. But you have to tell yourself, I can do this. You have to create affirmations around what it is that you're trying to accomplish, but also around you. You got to tell yourself you are beautiful. You got to tell yourself you can accomplish your dreams. You got to tell yourself, I can bring this thing, whatever it is, to pass. You got to tell yourself, I do look good today. You got to create affirmations around this new thing that you are trying to develop. Yeah, this new habit. Create affirmations and say, hey, why it's a good thing for what it is that you're doing. All right. Am I blessing you tonight? And why do I just said it? Why do you need to create affirmations? Because you're going to have to be persistent. You're going to have to be persistent uh, in your journey to create whatever it is, this new habit, this new thing. You're going to have to be persistent. You're going to have to tell the naysayers, nope, I ain't even trying to hear you. You're going to have to tell your haters, nope, I'm not even trying to hear that. You're going to have to be persistent. You're going to have to keep on developing this new thing, this new habit, this new behavior. You got to be persistent in it. So every morning you get up. So I was telling our production team. Uh, so one of the things when I get involved, I do a whole lot of research around what it is that I'm trying to accomplish, whatever it is. So I want to know the pros. I want to know the cons. I want to see how other people do it. This is why I say oftentimes I love biographies, because I can learn uh, in a 30-minute setting about 50 years of a person's life, right? How they accomplished something, how they did it, the roadblocks that they ran into. That's why I love biographies. But I was telling our production team, I was uh, doing some research, just different exercises and all of these particular things. And I came across Arnold Schwarzenegger. And Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mr. Olympia, governor, California, all of that stuff, but was a bodybuilder. And he was talking about in working out, you're going to always, as you develop these habits, your muscles will start to figure out what it is that you're trying to do. And he said, in that moment, you're going to have to shock the system. You're going to have to shock the muscle. You're going to have to do something beyond what the muscle believes that you can do. So he said sometimes he would just add extra weight, even if he could only do one rep, because that would wake up the muscle and say, okay, yeah, you got to get bigger. You got to stretch and go stronger. That was his way of saying, hey, you got to be persistent, because as you develop these habits, as you begin to embark on this thing that you would want to do, again, whether it's studying, whether it's growing in the things of God, there always comes these moments where it's like, oh, I want to give up. I want to throw in the towel. You're looking at the situation and you feel like you're not getting the results that you think that you should be getting. You have to shock. You have to become persistent. You got to shock the system in that moment, because in shocking the system, what you end up doing is creating a space for more growth. Somebody gonna get that in the morning. Because some of y'all ask me, like, why do I do some of the things that I do? I remember one lady came up to me after church and she said, I was at another church preaching, and she said, I love you, Pastor Wade, but I just don't understand you. I don't know why you do what you do, because it seems like there's a comfortable moment of something, and then you do something in my mind that seems to be crazy. And what she's failing to understand is I want to create more growth. And so in those moments, sometimes you got to shock the system in order to create more growth. Is anybody picking up what I'm putting down? Yeah. So you got to be persistent. Be persistent. I love that. And then here's the last one. I talk about it quite often when I say show grace on yourself. But let me say this tonight. You also have to learn how to reward yourself. If you have been, I'll use Leanna Winstead, if you have been struggling trying to start a podcast or whatever it is, a blog, a vlog, whatever it is that you're trying to do, you trying to write a book. Listen, if you sit down and you write one paragraph in that book, you ought to reward yourself because you got started. If you sit down and you Yeah, if you sit down and you say, man, I want to start a podcast, and you order this, whatever it is that you order to get the podcast, and you record that first podcast. You don't share it out to anybody. You just record it. You ought to reward yourself. You ought to celebrate the fact that you did it, because that's the first step in any journey, is taking a step. Yeah, that's the first journey in any step, is taking a step. I can't think of his name right now, but he wrote the book. Uh, uh, I think it's Think Rich and Grow. Think Rich and Grow. And he said oftentimes when he did a survey around why people couldn't accomplish and do uh, what they wanted to do, he said what he discovered is that most people just were afraid to try. Were afraid to try. So listen to me. If you did that thing that other folk told you that you could not do, baby, you need to reward yourself. My brother, you need to reward yourself. You need to learn how to celebrate the milestones of your life, the accomplishments of your life. If you said, man, I'm going to, I want to learn 3 scriptures in 3 months. And if you learn those 3 scriptures in 3 months, you ought to celebrate. You got to learn how to reward yourself. That's right, Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill. Thank you, Nina Holmes. That's right. You got to learn, and Dennis Kimball. That's right. You got to learn how to reward yourself. If you have accomplished those things, reward yourself. Stop operating in this false pious. Now, it's one thing to be humble, but there are a whole lot of people out there operating in that false humility and all of that stuff. Listen, if you have accomplished that thing that you set out, reward yourself. I believe in being humble, but some folk just in that fake humbleness. Listen, if you did it, because I'm a firm believer, first they're going to ask you, why are you doing it? Yeah. Why are you doing that? Yeah, that don't make sense. You shouldn't be doing that. But then when you do it, they're going to be asking you how you did it. And so learn how to reward yourself. Yeah, you did that. You accomplished that. Celebrate around the fact that you did that. You did something that you never thought that you would be able to accomplish, that you would be able to do. It's all right to pop your collar. It's all right to give yourself a virtual high five. It's all right, as David would say, to encourage yourself. That's all I'm saying tonight. So if you want to start, that new habit, let me give them to you again. So that you remember. Make a decision. Get started. Do something. He's empowered you to do it. Matter of fact, that's why he gave you the power. We talked about that last night. He empowered you to do something. Yeah, to do something. Number 2, especially when you're first getting started, don't make no exceptions. Don't make no exceptions. If you say, I'm going to get up at 5:30, if you say, I'm going to run or walk in the evening, and I don't even recommend, some people recommend running and everything, but you know what, you can, if you do 10,000 steps a day, 8 to 10,000 steps a day, truth be told, that's 300 calories that you have walked out. So if you just kind of want to lose some calories, you don't want to do a whole bunch of cardio, you don't want to lift a whole bunch of weights. If you just do the 10,000 steps, 8 to 10,000 steps a day, that's like 300 calories that you have burned off. That's all I'm saying. And really, that's like truthfully, to do that, that's like an hour and a half walk. So if you split that off, if you split that up throughout the day, you can hit that target like that. Truth be told, that's 300 calories you done burned off, right? So don't allow any exceptions. Number 2, tell others, people who are in your circle, invite them into what you're doing and invite them to hold you accountable. That's all I'm saying. Tell others. Don't tell your haters. Don't tell your naysayers. But if you have some people you rocking with, tell them, hey, this is what I'm trying to accomplish, and I need you to come alongside of me and help me reach that goal. Sure way to know if somebody is really in your corner when you have a goal and a vision for your life and you say, hey, this is what I'm trying to accomplish. If the first thing they telling you, you can't do it, hey, you need to get rid of them. I'm sorry. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. All I'm saying is you don't need to have them as close to you as you've been having them close to you. You need folk that when you tell them, hey, this is what I'm trying to accomplish, they tell you, you can do it. You can do it. You can get it done. Visualize yourself doing it. Create affirmations. Yeah. Create affirmations around what it is that you're doing. Be persistent. Resolve to be persistent. And then finally, reward yourself. Yeah, if this word tonight has added value to your life, I need you to text, tag, and tell somebody. Yeah, invite them into the space. We come into the space every night, 8 p.m. Yeah, we call it Wade's Word of the Day. I'm your host, Pastor R.D. Wade. I so appreciate each and every one of you. So again, if the word has added value to your life tonight, don't be selfish. Yeah, tag, text, and tell somebody. If it's blessed you, then I'm sure it'll bless your neighbor. It'll bless your friend. Yeah, if you want to partner with us in ministry, Sister Lori has dropped in the comment section the ways that you can partner with us. We're definitely always looking for new partners to come alongside of us and help us to walk in the ministry that we're doing. Listen, we're certainly not asking you to break the bank to be a partner with us. Hey, if you want to, $5, $10 or something like that, it's up to you. I say in this space all the time, we ain't tripping. We ain't tripping. If you want to come alongside us and be a part of what we're doing, Sister Lori has dropped it in the comment section, $ LHBC 131, the website, or you can use the text to give. Hey, want to do it? Wonderful. But if this has added value to your life, we certainly would appreciate you supporting what it is that we're doing. All right. We always try to go out with a little bit of music. So let's go out this way. Y'all let me know if you're feeling this tonight. Here we go. Yeah, let's do it this way. Here we go.